Welcome back to NaturalOne, the mall food court of the D&D creator space. Cheap, loud, and somehow always a little disappointing. We're back to doing what we do best, cramming beloved characters into the 5e rule set whether they like it or not. And today, it's time to keep the peace by any means necessary. Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, is DC's Chrome Dome himbo of extreme patriotism. A man who will kill for peace while blasting 80s rock music and making everyone around him uncomfortable. If you want to play the world's most confusing pacifist with a pet eagle and a gun for every occasion, this build's for you.
Yes or no? It's yes or no. It's only fucking yes or no question.
That's a lot of rules.
2 fucking rules. 2. 1 yes or no. 2 don't be a fucking moron.
How am I supposed to follow that second rule?
Maybe by shutting the fuck up.
Peacemaker can't strut into D&D without some numbers to justify the helmet, the hand crossbows, and the brand of peace that comes with an overwhelming amount of firepower. Starting with a 15 in dexterity, he draws and fires his hand crossbow faster than most people can finish a sentence. Because when your whole vibe is hand crossbow, you'd better be accurate. Constitution sits at a 14. Peacemaker can take hits and keep yelling about peace while reloading his hand crossbow. Did I say hand crossbow again? Intelligence hits at a 13. Not a scholar, but he knows his way around tactics and which end of the hand crossbow is up. Next up, charisma's at a 12. His confidence is unshakable, even if it's mostly from yelling and waving his hand crossbow around. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Waving his gun around. It's not like this video is making us any money anyway, and honestly, I'm losing my mind here. I mean, what's YouTube gonna do? Not pay me? They already do that! How many times do I have to stop myself mid-word to protect this video? It's a hand crossbow, a hand crossbow, a hand crossbow. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We know what it means. I'm just gonna say hand crossbow. If I have to say it one more time, I swear to God. Look, we know mechanically it's a hand crossbow. But I'm just gonna say gun today. Okay? Let's move on. A 10 in strength, because Peacemaker's got enough muscle to throw a punch or two, but mostly it's his guns doing the heavy lifting. Lastly, Wisdom clocks in at 8. Situational awareness is questionable, but really, when you're packing guns, who needs it?
I made a vow to have peace, no matter how many people I have to kill to get it.
Peacemaker is a straight up human. No alien powers, no secret magic, just a regular guy with a toilet seat helmet and a questionable definition of peace. So, yeah, variant human. He gets +1 to dexterity because you don't hit your shots unless you're quick on the draw, and +1 to intelligence because under all that chaos, Peacemaker actually knows his tactics. For the feat, we're going with sharpshooter, because the man lives to hit those impossible shots with his gun. Skill? Intimidation, obviously. You can't wear a chrome dome, carry guns everywhere, and not scare people at least a little bit, even if it's just because you look weird. For background, Mercenary Veteran fits like a glove. Peacemaker spent his life doing the dirty work no one else wants to while insisting he's the good guy. He picks up athletics to toss people around when the guns aren't enough, and persuasion, for those rare moments he tries to talk before he shoots.
I do have a pet. It's a great question. I have a pet named Eagly. He's an eagle.
Level 1, and we're locking, loading, and overcompensating. Peacemaker starts as a fighter, because if your entire deal is peace through superior firepower, you'd better know how to fire. We're picking up the archery fighting style to make those guns hand crossbow. You know what? Whatever. We're making his guns even deadlier. And second wind keeps him in the fight when peacemaking gets him shot. For skills, he grabs perception to spot threats before they become a problem, and animal handling, because yes, we are counting Eagly, and yes, he's a very good boy. At level 2, Peacemaker gets Action Surge, because sometimes one round of overkill isn't enough. He can use it to fire more shots, reposition, or kick down a door mid-monologue about freedom while dual-wielding guns. Level 3 makes Peacemaker a Battle Master, because while he's a complete emotional disaster, the man knows tactics. We're taking pushing attack to knock enemies back when they get too close, lunging attack so we can maintain personal space while keeping them in bullet range, and grappling strike for those moments when it's time to throw down. Student of War gets some cobbler's tools because, as we all know, the most powerful tool in D&D is cobbler's tools. No further explanation needed. Level 4, Peacemaker picks up the crossbow expert feat, because if you're going to wave around a gun in each hand, you better not worry about reloading, close range penalties, or the laws of physics. It's also the perfect feat for a man whose entire moral code hinges on shoot first, ask questions never. Level 5 grants extra attack, letting Peacemaker double tap each turn like the freedom-fueled disaster he is, putting out even more shots in the name of peace while Eagly watches, slightly concerned but still supportive. Level 6 and Peacemaker's not slowing down. He grabs an ability score increase to bump his dexterity to 18, because hitting your shots and hitting them first is kind of the whole brand here. Plus, it makes him even faster on the draw with his guns. At level 7, Peacemaker picks up Know Your Enemy, which is perfect for a guy who stalks his targets while ranting about freedom. He also adds trip attack to send enemies sprawling, and precision attack for those moments when he really needs to land the next shot, whether it's taking out a target or shooting off a helmet during an extremely unhealthy bonding moment. Level 8 brings the Magic Initiate feat, because sometimes Peacemaker's chaotic existence needs a dash of actual magic. He grabs True Strike, the best cantrip in the game, no notes, and Blade Ward for those moments when he realizes charging into gunfire might not be the smartest idea. For the first level spell, we're taking Find Familiar to get Eagly on the field, because if you're playing Peacemaker without Eagly, what are you even doing? At level 9, Peacemaker gains Indomitable, letting him re-roll failed saves because, let's face it, he's too stubborn to die or learn from his mistakes. Level 10 upgrades his combat superiority dice and adds 2 more maneuvers. Ambush, so he can go first and talk about peace while shooting people, and Disarming Attack, which is just what it sounds like. Peacemaker shooting the gun out of someone's hand so he can keep yelling about how much he loves peace while reloading his own. Level 11 and Peacemaker gets extra attack. Because if you're going to be a peacekeeper with guns, you might as well shoot even more each turn in the name of freedom, liberty, and emotional repression.
But I was selfish. And I was a bad friend, Eagly. The only one besides Keith that ever loved me for real.
At level 12, we pivot into Artificer. Because in James Gunn's version, Peacemaker's helmet arsenal is basically magic tech. Magical tinkering lets him rig small gadgets that flash, glow, or smell like gunpowder, and he picks up guidance to barely help with checks, and resistance because maybe you won't die this time is about as far as Peacemaker's self-care goes. For spells, Sanctuary lets him talk about peace while dodging return fire, and False Life is there because temporary hit points is Peacemaker's entire emotional coping strategy. Level 13 brings a second level in Artificer, unlocking Infusion, so Peacemaker can get even more gear out of that government budget. Cap of Water Breathing? Yeah, that's a helmet mod. Repeating Shot for those hand crossbows. Guns, who cares? Guns. Repeating Shot for his guns because Peacemaker's not reloading unless it's for dramatic effect. He also grabs Long Strider to move faster when it's time to kick in a door. At level 14, Peacemaker becomes an Armorer because helmets are armor, fight me. And he picks up the Guardian model, turning his costume into a full-on tactical powerhouse. Tools of the Trade keeps him geared, and for spells, Thunderwave becomes the sonic boom helmet Peacemaker uses for crowd control, while Magic Missile gives him a helmet mod that never misses, because even Peacemaker needs a cheat code sometimes. Level 15 and Peacemaker's getting a little more charming, bumping Charisma to 14 to reflect his ability to connect with people, while still being a mess. He also picks up the Jump spell, because Helmet mod go boing, letting Peacemaker launch himself through windows in the middle of a mission while yelling about how much he loves peace. Level 16 and Peacemaker switches gears to Rogue for a bit of subtlety. Sort of. He picks up expertise in athletics and animal handling, because throwing people around and managing Eagly are critical skills in his peacekeeping toolkit. Thieves' Cant makes appearances because even a guy with a chrome helmet needs to speak the language of the underworld now and then. And Sneak Attack is his way of making sure those surprise shots pack extra punch. Stealth runs out his skill. If Peacemaker can sneak, the world might actually be in trouble. At level 17, Cunning Action lets him dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action, which is basically tactical retreat dressed up with style, because sometimes even Peacemaker knows when to run away yelling. Level 18 brings Steady Aim for guaranteed hits when it really counts, and the Assassin archetype, which fits his paradox of being a literal killer who insists he's the good guy. Assassinate means he's at his deadliest when striking first, usually before his opponents realize they're already on his list. At level 19, Peacemaker grabs the Tough feat, because surviving emotional trauma is one thing, but surviving actual combat? That's a whole other level of pain management. This feat boosts his hit points, making him a little harder to take down despite all the chaos he causes. Finally, at level 20, he gets Uncanny Dodge, cutting damage from attacks like a pro. Because if you're going to be a mess, you might as well be a durable one. Peacemaker is now the ultimate walking contradiction. A relentless, loud, gun-toting peacekeeper with enough tricks to survive the fallout.
Now, if this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
For all his screaming and shooting, Peacemaker's got some serious tricks up his helmet. Let's break down what makes this mess effective. Obviously, he's a really good marksman. 4 shots with his hand crossbow at plus 13 to hit. With sharpshooter active, each attack dishes out 4d6 plus 60 damage. Plus, he can add combat superiority dice on every hit, and one of those attacks probably adds an extra 3d6 damage from sneak attack. And if that's not enough, Action Surge lets him double down for maximum firepower. And he's also got Surprise Betrayal in his arsenal. With sneak attack, assassinate, automatic crits, and ambush, these stack up for devastating opening moves. Peacemaker can turn an unsuspecting enemy into a pile of regrets before they even realize what hit them. And he's defensive too. Sanctuary, False Life, Uncanny Dodge, and the Guardian Armor Field give Peacemaker surprising staying power. He can soak hits and keep yelling about peace, making him tougher than he looks. He's also got pretty reliable melee. When shooting isn't an option, Peacemaker can hold his own in close combat. With plenty of maneuvers, Guardian Gauntlet punches, and no penalties for point-blank shots, he's ready to get up close and personal, or just shoot at you point-blank range without worrying about consequences. Well, it turns out, even if you call yourself a peacekeeper, that doesn't mean you're actually good at it. Here's where Peacemaker trips over his own helmet. He's playing Resource Roulette on the daily. 5 maneuver dice, 3 spell slots, 1 second wind, 1 indomitable, 6 guardian fields. Juggling all that is basically Peacemaker trying to adult. Spoiler, he's barely keeping it together, but hey, at least he's shooting stuff. He's also just a guy with a gun. No superpowers, no cosmic mojo, just a dude waving guns and yelling peace like it's a magic word. Reliable? Sure. Special? Not really. He's chaos wrapped in shiny armor with a PhD in questionable life choices. Also, apparently his dad is a Nazi white supremacist? Yeah, his family reunions are the definition of awkward. Trying to out-peacekeep a literal Nazi dad? That's some next-level emotional baggage. No wonder his helmet's so big. You have to fit all that trauma somewhere. And that's a wrap on Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker. The guy who's proof you can yell peace while blowing everything to bits. If you enjoyed watching us cram this chaotic helmet into D&D, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It might be the only way to survive the next explosive episode. While you're down there, leave a comment telling us how we did, what you'd change, or who you want to see get smashed into 5e next. And if you're still trying to piece together Peacemaker's emotional baggage and all of those shiny guns, remember, you can grab this build and all of our other builds for free on Patreon, because we like sharing our madness, no secrets here. Well, that's enough peace for one day, so until next time, we'll catch you on the flip side.
You're late, you fucking dickheads.